Alright, here we go. And that's
Go.
all that happened to Samson.
Go.
Yeah.
You want to do the recap? Now's the time because the recording's rolling.
Samson blocked out. That's all that's important.
Yeah, we never saw Samson again.
And Samson never saw again.
Oof.
Is that genuinely it?
Yeah. We got to the port. We met up with the pirate. Had a funny time at the bar. Samson got blacked out. And Nim tried to steal from him.
No, I misheard. Fuck you.
Oh man, you
You
know what I
tried to steal
just
from him.
remembered?
What?
When Simpson passed out coming out of the bar, Friend called him pathetic. I forgot about that.
No, Celeste called him fucking pathetic. Fringe just like
No. Celeste was sitting there. Prin called him pathetic.
I remember it the other way around.
Mm-mm. You remember
Point
wrong.
being, someone called him pathetic. It doesn't matter who.
It's all that matters, as long as we know.
Yeah. Someone did. They'll pay for it later, but not right now.
The reason why I remember that is because I had to act that out, and I know who would call who pathetic. At least out loud.
All I knew is that Celeste like really meant it, whatever she did, and that hurt.
I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. I genuinely don't. Hold on, out of all
Listen,
things,
we'll
I forgot to put my hair back up, so...
Well, we'll just go back to it later. I remember it being Celeste.
Well, you could watch the thing over again. Which, even with my headset off, I know you said you won't.
Actually, I didn't say shit. Idiot! Check that recording, bitch!
Good to know.
Yeah. I'm like so totally glad we came to this revelation, but let's like get started, you know?
No. God, I hate when you do that.
Alright, headset's back on. I'm good. Oh, whatever it is, I'll hear it. And I'll probably sit there going, God damn it.
Uh-huh. I only hope you can.
So that was pretty much everything. So I think where we directly left off was Samson laying down with a bedroll over top of him.
Not on the roof.
Not on the roof.
Not on the roof.
Sadly.
Yes, chaos energy was not achieved this day.
Nim also left for the candy store.
And Nim turns away and leaves for the candy store with no adult supervision.
Yep.
I mean, Uriela's air conditioner still, so she would attempt to catch up.
Oh, okay.
Like, lock Samson in the room.
And we will say that Prin and Celeste stay with all the stuff now that you've put most of your unpacked stuff in the room.
Cool.
So, by sheer circumstance, it appears that Hyala and Nim are going to be spending quality time together. This should turn out swimmingly.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Well, don't sound too excited, goddamn.
Bonding time.
Murder, murder, murder,
Oh
murder,
my
murder,
goodness,
murder,
I
murder.
downloaded. They're gonna come in handy.
Murder, 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 murder. So yeah, do you remember where the candy store is? Because it's marked.
Much appreciated. The obvious answer is no.
You should thank yourself. It's marked with your color, the key lime green. The little, I don't know what that's supposed to be, a V, a right
S
angle.
for sugar.
It's an S. Like Jade said.
No, it is an S. What do you know?
You just have to tilt your head a little bit.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what the L is then. Or maybe that's a 2? I don't know how...
No, that's where Simpson is.
Yeah, that's
That's
Samson.
That's a backwards S for Samson.
Yeah.
No, it's his mouth.
Growing up.
It's his mouth?
As drawn by a trackpad.
With the hat. Don't forget the hat.
Yeah. That's how we keep track of the boy.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's suddenly a red line. I guess that means dead. Anyway, the trip to the candy store.
Yeah. So. Nim, like, explaining to Yella, who I know doesn't care, but Nim's explaining why she's looking for the candy.
The candy man.
I see the rainbow.
Candy man.
So,
taste the rainbow.
And his candy wine.
Yeah. So Nim's just like, yeah, I wanna, I've been having a craving for something sweet, so I'm gonna see if they have any here.
Well, if it's a candy store, they should.
Yeah, sometimes they only specialize in, like, sour stuff, so who knows? We'll find out!
She just nods and proceeds.
I have never known any kind of confection shop to only specialize in sour.
You've never been to a lemon store? Where they
No,
only...
but that sounds fucking amazing.
Lemon store, lemon store.
And there goes the potential for YouTube to mark this for kids. Great. Fantastic. I don't want to be stuck with that bullshit.
First of all, I am, like, 10 minutes away from dropping some swear word. There was never the potential for it to be for kids.
Good! Apparently I've recently found out that sometimes YouTube, if you don't mark it, or if they just fucking decide to, will auto-mark your shit as for kids, and then send you a personal letter being like, yeah, we've determined via our algorithm this is actually for kids, please mark your shit accordingly, or else we're gonna have to take action against your channel. So it gets worse now. Now they'll go in and determine whether or not your stuff gets sent to YouTube Kids to go die.
Man.
Rack.
So, I assume the 40, 50 feet from the candy store we are, it doesn't take that long?
It does not take that long.
Okay. Is it an open door, or Nim has to knock?
It's a glass door. You could see through.
What does it look like? What's in there?
Do you go into the store, or are you just pressing your face to the glass window of the door?
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No.
Where the
Nim
eyeballs
knows
shoot
glass.
out and they just run all over the fucking sheet?
No, the
No.
one where he's pressed up against the glass as Squidward's coming into the door. Just...
No. Nim looks in to see if there's a worker.
Nim is looking respectfully at this candy.
Yella just walks in.
Undressing the candy with her eyes.
That's weird.
Hey, you don't know, it might have wrappers.
Yeah, it's eye candy.
Ooh.
But dumb.
Who knows, maybe the bigger pieces could be worn as arm candy. See, what makes it even more funny is I'm just remembering that candy that is literally called Sugar Daddy.
Yeah.
I hate those. They're disgusting.
Really?
Oh, I like
I'm the
them.
one I don't. The ones I don't like are the Sugar Babies, which are basically like smaller and they don't have the same texture.
Yeah.
Nah, they get stuck to my molars.
You don't chew them.
I do chew them, but they get stuck up in there.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
there's
why
your
you-
molar. You're not supposed to chew caramel with your molars. That's why they get stuck. You're impacting them with a huge amount of pressure and heat. Of course they're gonna get stuck. That's just
Yeah, just
user
put it
error.
down your mouth.
You're supposed to suck on it.
Also, every time I found a sugar baby or a sugar daddy, they're like oddly soggy and look like they're 4 years old. I don't even know where people buy those from. I have never seen them sold in a shop. Ever.
They buy them from 4 years in the past, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they just
then-
use a Wayback Machine to go order them off Amazon. Oh
But anyway,
sugar back
Nim
machine.
will follow Kiala into the store. What does the store look like?
The store is like many other buildings in Zanzibar, mostly wood, treated. It's not like they're sitting on... I swear to God, if that fucking sausage starts bar, I will kill you. I am going to turn you into a pair of boots that I will never wear.
Sounds like a waste of boots.
Sick.
Did I ever mention how I've more than ever before in my life come to dislike small dogs?
Oh.
I own one. I like her. She's only sweet to my mother. But, like, I can't stand how neurotic they are. I
Small
don't...
dogs are the worst. Can confirm.
It's also not just from owning one. I've worked in 2 vets' offices in my lifetime. My personal PTSD aside, you know, mostly wood, you know, it's got those, like, bins. Is that what I'm looking for? Like open bins. You know how you might see in an actual candy store? Not that there are many in New York that you can walk into when you're middle class.
What?
Huh?
Well,
There's one in the village.
is that? Well, yeah, and everything's cheap in the village. Sure.
I didn't realize you were jingling a can while living in a box for change.
Mood.
Edwin, you know how bad my finances can be.
I do. I also know that we've gotten about just as many calories from Island Grill as we have spending that same amount of money in a candy store.
Okay, the difference about Island Grill is for $3 you could buy 1 quesadilla and it's got enough caloric content to fire a nuclear generator.
Yeah, for $3 I could make 1,000 quesadillas.
It's true.
Anyway, moving on. Candy store. Generic candy store. Alright.
As candy is store can candy.
I really want it to look exactly like the tavern we just left, but it's just candy on tap. Like you order a cup and like Skittles just pour into a glass.
Yeah.
Alright.
Open a spout, it's taffy.
Oh my god, the taffy spout.
Taffy spout!
If you want to roll me a fate die,
Yeah.
then, you know, very much you could see if this is what happens, because I'm not married to any possibility. What's the number? Because I don't see it just yet.
14.
I rolled 14 because I want it to be that while I'm dead.
Don't be dead.
You know what? I'll give it to you. It is basically like the tavern, but slightly smaller, with less tables.
What's that, Yeah, it's got Buffy the Whale, and that annoying
Carvel?
kid. No, Buffy the Whale, it was on Cartoon Network.
Oh,
You're talking
Candy
about,
Island
you're
from
talking
Flapjack.
about Bubby! Bubby and Flapjack. God, I
Yeah,
still
Bubby
have issues with that show.
God, I love that show. I miss it so much.
It was
Yeah,
kind of
you
good.
walked
It also
into
made
that
my skin
town.
crawl,
That's the best part.
which was...
I've never seen
I
it.
understand the point, but also
You're
it
not
also
missing
got
out.
rerun a lot. Which
Flapjack's
hurt
best quality was existential dread.
it. Yeah. I also...
Fantastic.
I also think I would have liked it more if it actually had, like, a plot and story. I mean, it half did, half didn't. Kind of like in the same way that Ed and Eddie had a story and plot. But anyway, that's not the point.
Point is, this is that candy store.
You have faxi Captain Knuckles, who looks just like Rosebeard.
Alright, Shay, roll me a fake die and let's see if this son of a bitch is in fact Candy Larry. Now I just gotta...
No! Why are you see your fate so terrible?
Look who's
Fate
rolling.
better.
Yeah, just
Well,
fate
see,
better,
here's the
man.
thing. I don't know if it being Candy Larry, considering that character out of all of them really made my skin crawl, is a curse or a blessing. So I don't know if it came so fast. I haven't determined whether or not he's a curse or a blessing.
He's a blessing in my book.
Sugar.
Anyway, ignoring that, Nim says hi to the worker.
Well, I don't think I have a good Candy Larry impression, so we're gonna try for this, and we're gonna see how long it lasts. This tall man with a horrible mustache that kind of wraps around his jowls and up to his cheek. You know, the old mutton. That's what it's called, right? The mutton. I'm zoning out. Anyway, he looks up and says, "Hi, hello there. Have you come to look at my candy wares?"
I'm gonna leave the store.
Just walk back out.
You wanted this!
I didn't even remember what he sounded like. I never thought he sounded like a freak.
That's literally... Eddie, am I wrong?
He's a little more cheerful in the show.
Unless he's talking about his candy wife, then he suddenly just sounds like a pedophile. Candy wife, yeah.
It almost sounds like you're doing a Dr. Barber instead.
So does Nim
He
actually
also
just
said-
walk out?
I'm so tempted.
Because Yell will just grab a handful of whatever looks sweet and like for Nim and then just walk out after her.
Nim's thinking about it.
Hello? Nim?
I mean, he looks friendly enough. He's just
She pokes at the side of Nim's head.
kinda ugly. Not like hideously ugly, he just looks like, you know, he's not attractive.
No, trust me, his voice would lose any points if his face hadn't. Side notes aside.
Wow.
Nim's like, Nim doesn't say that. I just lost
What
my
was
entire
that?
train of thought.
And then it's just like, humana.
No.
Whatever
No.
the opposite of Humana is.
Nim goes, hello, what kind of candy do you have in your store? Tell me. As Nim wants to stick close to the door.
Tell me. Well, you don't seem to be from around these parts, but we have plenty of sweet treats to go around for nice young girls such as yourself. We have hard candies. We have soft candies. We have taffy on tap. As he goes over and pulls a lever, and you just see a string of taffy just come out, and he places a bit of wax paper under it and rolls it up. We have many delectable treats. I make sure that they are perfection.
Alright, so he obviously is single. If anyone cares.
What?
Wow!
Nah, fam. Too much time spent in the candy, not enough time spent talking to anyone else.
Jesus.
He lives by the candy and dies by the candy.
Live by the sugar and die by the syrup.
That's a statement if I've ever heard one. That's the most statement I've ever heard. Anywho, so Nim will take a glance at Hyala. What's Hyala doing?
She is wondering whether Zorn would like rock candy.
That's a pretty good question.
She's just standing there staring at it like,
Yellow's the only one here on a biological expedition.
No, Yellow's joined the biological expedition crew. She started asking questions.
Yeah,
So,
her expedition is to get back to her biology.
So Nim's gonna walk around and look at the candies. And then realize, how are we paying for these?
We're not.
Is this about to... No, I'm like, do we have to barter or do we just take these? Like, how does this work?
Yellow was just gonna assume she would just take them. So if it's anything other than that, we'll find out. But Nim can always ask.
Yeah, Nim's like, do you work on a barter system or a different system?
He kind of tilts his
We
head
left-
and he's like,
We
well,
left our wallet drunk on the floor somewhere
Yeah.
else.
I have heard tales that outsiders can be quite odd. It is true I wouldn't mind getting some things I might need, but I'm not going to deny you the sweet, delectable taste of sugar's love and goodness if you desire it so. As he kind of just tries to smile at you and he just puts his hands together in like a tented fashion. Sugar is the great enjoyer.
Thank God Samson's not here.
I can only imagine what would happen. Oh my god, I just realized this is the second merchant only Hyala and Nim have spoken to, and it is again a creepy person. What could be described as a creepy person.
Great. So Nim's like, okay, and then do they have like a bag to put this stuff in, or do you just grab some like a barbarian?
Okay, Prin.
No, Nim is totally the kind who's like, your hands touch this? Ew.
Rich bitch.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, I'll say it again. She does have a little bit of heart in her after all.
Oh.
Not the
Oh,
kind you.
That's normally a good thing.
Anyway, is there a bag, or does Nim actually have to reach a hand in it?
You don't see a bag, but as you're kind of looking confused, he looks at you and is like, "Is there a certain particular flavor you are looking for today, or perhaps tomorrow? Maybe you are shopping for the future when it might be a rainy day and you need a pickup."
Oh, I don't think we're going to see rain for a long time.
Nim goes, actually, I was wondering if you had a container we could put these in.
And he reaches under the counter and he pulls out
A gun.
a few. Yeah, he just pulls out a goddamn double barrel
I have
shotgun.
lead candy.
He just pulls out a double barrel shotgun. No one puts my babies in chains. Starts shooting. No, he pulls out three different
Samson
size
wakes
boxes.
up. The only one allowed to shoot Nim is me.
He pulls out three different size boxes of wood, then of glass. He pulls out a few different sizes of leather and cloth pouches. Different types of candy require different types of storages. For example, stickier candies cannot go in fabric, as you won't be able to pull them away from the inside of your bag. The same is true of wood. Glass is better for more sticky substances. At the same time, harder candies can be stored in things that will not hold heat as well, such as wood or cloth that breathe. You wouldn't want to put those in leather, because if it's out in the sun, they'll begin to melt. It all depends on what you savor, my dear.
Do you have one that can withstand heat for very long?
This also depends on the temperature. You require high heat to make most candies, but the higher the temperature, the higher the chance of melting. It also depends on what the candy is made with. As he goes back to like tenting his fingers and just like, you know, doing that little thing where you connect your fingers in like a small wave and you just keep doing that. You know what I'm getting at? It's kind of hard to describe.
Nim will think for a second and then go, one for the savannah, like that won't melt while we're there. We're crossing the savannah.
Then you would require candies with a low moisture content. Hard candies are typically good, but more crystalline varieties are good as well. There's also fruit leathers that will not melt at all because they are dried fruit pulp and other syrups.
Candy merchant, I require your driest candies.
My candies are too dry for you, traveler. You require a merchant with wetter
Moister
candy.
So Hyala will chime in. Are
Shoot
any
him.
of these fruit leathers made with the berries found out in the savannah? The bitter ones?
Are you referring to the titular nuts?
Maybe?
I
I don't know that I would ever describe them that way.
Well,
That's
I
a
don't
weird
want to
choice.
say the entire title anymore, because a certain someone ruined it. That certain someone may have their character drunk and passed out right now.
Yeah, man. It's a shame for that certain someone.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, sucks to suck.
If I ever find out who it is, I will point and mock them relentlessly.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I have two characters,
Are
and one
you-
of them is may be drunk but not passed out.
You don't know.
Oh no, computer, don't slide. No, don't do that either.
So are you in fact talking about the bitter
There was some bitter junk that Samson liked.
that wanted to make into wine?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah,
instead
those
was
things.
served pure, like, distilled alcohol from them.
The Everclear of them, of which he drank like juice.
Sippy cup.
In
So,
a sippy cup.
Do you like present one, or are you just trying to like describe it?
Well, if he doesn't know what they are, she'll show one.
I would say, based on your description, he kind of like cocks his head slightly to the side. He's not too clear. There may be several nut varieties over the continent, so.
She'll retrieve one, then smell it to make sure it's the right thing, then hold it out to the guy.
As he reaches his hand out and kind of takes it from you. Yes, I am familiar with this variety. Not many want candy made from it, but with a little bit of edible acids and some caramelization, you can create something quite flavorful with a good evolution. Their low moisture content means they're also good for pulping, though their low sugar content rules out most hard candies. Syrups can be hard to turn into hard candy, so it is possible to make leathers out of them. Yes.
Does it require any materials?
No, not anything I don't have in the back. They are fun. Not many people choose to make this into a confection.
If we provide you some, could you prepare it?
I could, my dear. Absolutely.
Nim has 41 of those.
What'd you say?
Nim has 41 of those berries.
Okay, give them to this guy. Let's
Nim pulls
turn him
out
into
her-
something that's gonna keep longer.
Yeah, Nim hands him the 41 berries. Will this be enough?
With the one I'm holding, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he kind of goes off and he mutters and he counts. I count 42 of them. Let's see. If I. Do you want the leathers big or small? As he kind of like gestures with his hands. The difference between like holding his fingers in a a 1 inch apart versus holding both hands a foot apart.
Wow, that's a
Small.
big difference.
Small, definitely small.
Basically, he's asking if you want them individually sized or if you would rather them in sheets.
Will... Do they require ration tags?
If you ask that in character?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't say so. Fruit leathers are an old way of preserving fruit. It allows them to keep longer. The low moisture content means that they have a good natural shelf life.
This guy can't just give simple answers to questions, can he? He has to bring up moisture in some way or another.
Of course.
So,
Okay,
Nim's
Phil-
gonna go... Yeah, no, you go first.
Small is perfect then.
Very well. I will get started on it. As he kind of slowly turns around. 1 second, my dear. As he takes a small pot and pours a cup of a liquid into a small glass and then proceeds to drink it.
Ignoring that, Nim goes, before you do that, what's the sweetest candy you have in the store?
The sweetest candy I have in the store? Well, it would be... noticeably talking faster. It would be that one right over there. Those are sugar bombs. I must apologize if you've noticed. I have a energy deficiency. The less sugar in my blood, the less I motivate. However, it's gotten to the point where if I do drink sugar, which that is pure syrup, I can move a little faster. Most people around this port don't mind my slow pace, but I wouldn't want to bother you with my problems and issues. Those sugar
I almost
bombs...
said fantastic.
Huh?
I almost said fantastic. I wouldn't want to bother you with my problems. Fantastic. Moving on.
Yay, good job.
Anyway. But yes, those sugar bombs over there, they are made out of a fruit that grows up in the north. High sugar concentration. As his voice starts to trail a little bit.
What's the maximum amount of this that Nim can grab?
I don't know. How many containers do you have on you?
Nim has no containers.
Well, then...
Well, she's got a backpack. Can she fill her backpack?
I mean, yeah, you could start shoveling it into your backpack, but that might not be the most acceptable approach. Or...
Yeah, I think Yala would stop you at like 10 to 15 of them.
That's so much more than I thought.
Well, hey, we're gonna be in the desert for a long period of time.
So Nim goes, we're gonna be traveling for quite some time, so I don't know how soon we'll be able to come back. How much of this can I grab for our journey?
I would say that I could part with 8 pounds of it. I've got more in the back. Though you've said you'll be traveling in a place that has a lot of heat, I would have to get you a box and line it with some wax paper to keep them from melting into the wood. Those candies.
I liked that.
Those candies have a higher moisture content. As you look at these candies that are bespeckled with a number of different colors, but they're all, you know, sat in this bin. They're kind of rainbow but crystalline, like different kinds of sugars have been mixed together and they kind of have a bit of a pyramidal cone?
You
that the
said-
thing?
You said 8 pounds of this?
Yes, and each individual piece is about the size of like a Hershey's Kiss. But they have
Alright.
that like cylindrical cone
Damn.
shape. You know, they don't have edges, but they're Cylindrical cone.
The
No,
speed-
pyramid. A cylindrical pyramid. You know, where the sides are like smooth.
That makes sense. To speed things up, can I get 4 pounds of the sugar bombs and then 4 pounds of like 4 other candies?
4 pounds each? Or are you
No.
saying like 1 pound
1
of 4
pound
of
of 4 other candies.
What?
4 pounds of sugar bombs
Okay.
and then 1 pound of 4 other candies.
Fair enough.
Still 8 pounds, but just 5 things.
Well, fair enough. And I'm assuming you relay this information to him.
Yeah,
And you'll have to pick out your 4 other candies, of course.
yeah. I'm gonna label these. I'm getting blue raspberry.
You got sugar bombs, blue raspberry. God, at this point we've got Samson's Silk Road and Nim's Diabetes Tunnel.
No,
Strawberry toffee.
Nim in the chocolate factory.
Woo!
Green apple. And what's another one? Orange.
I count 3 flavors so far.
I said blue raspberry, strawberry taffy, green apple, and orange.
Of course, these flavors being their world equivalents, but yeah, sure.
Fantastic.
You got that written down?
Yep. And I'm putting it in my character sheet. How long will the leather take?
I'm assuming you asked this of him in character, and he looks at you
Yeah.
and says, "Only an hour, my dear. I'm pretty snappy." As you see him pull out a pair of big, like, candy-making goggles, and he just snaps them to his head.
Is there anything you need assistance with in the meantime?
I could use a few taste testers to test some new varieties.
That's gonna be the most skewed pair of taste testers.
Yeah, Nim eats sugar like a heathen, and Hyala doesn't.
Yep. I suppose.
I've tasted a lot of sweet things. I'll do it.
Admittedly, Hella was hoping for like heavy lifting or something, and it's like, no, eat food.
It's like, ah, damn it. Can never get what Yala wants.
Man, I dream of labor.
Where is our labor, comrade? I am used to cold and lifting heavy objects. Where is our society?
If he gives her ice cream, she'll be happy.
Nim could also make it cold for you if you ask.
Cold, chewy leather.
So yeah, Hella will just kind of nod along.
Perfect. This is very good. Very good indeed.
Okay, now I don't want to do
Right?
it. This feels like a Courage the Cowardly Dog episode, and I'm just
Yeah.
So, anyway, he kind of lifts up the entrance to the counter and gestures for you to come into the back. Right this way. It should be done cooling.
Nim looks at Hyala and waits for her to make the first move.
Hella will walk back. She's got her sword at her side. It's fine.
So you follow him into the back?
Yeah.
Would you like
His
to...
hopefully not murder chamber.
You want to roll me perception?
That's scary given the context. Go Yala.
Always with the 20 pluses! It's amazing!
Amazing what you do when you have high stats.
Yeah.
Thing.
Not only that, but it's also a nat 20! She just constantly rolls nat 20s on perception!
Who's perceptive?
Usually when it doesn't matter, like in this situation. I mean,
Yes.
unless he is going to.
It's also thematically really funny to me because she's a tabaxi! She's just a cat! She sees and hears everything!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, anyway.
So what do I see in here? Is there any poison?
Everything.
So,
Oh,
Nim
Is
looks
it
around and she's immediately just distracted by the smell of sugar, which starts to kick off her gremlin brain.
She's already getting a sugar high, and she hasn't gotten to eat
Yeah,
anything.
the air is sugar. There's enough like sugar sweet smells in the air to start Nim getting into her sugar high mode.
Samson would hate it here.
Yes, but you smell a lot of other things. You smell like buttery smells, cream smells, chocolatey smells. Some of these you may not recognize, but they're still in the air regardless.
Yes.
And you see that it really is just like a candy making thing. Different copper pots, different metal pots, clay things. And as he walks over to where there's a fairly large brick of just some kind of what... You probably don't know what taffy is, though, right?
I doubt it.
Yeah, so you don't really
At least
know...
it wouldn't go by that name. They probably have some, like, chewy, condensed, sweet goop, but I doubt it's called taffy. Or
It's called
flavored like
caramel.
anything.
So he walks over to it and he takes kind of like a bench scraper type knife, if you know what one of those look like.
Mhm.
I know Ed definitely does, but so he takes that and he kind of starts cutting off a small, like 1-inch by 1/2-inch rectangle, and he just looks at Yal and he's like, "This one is a new formula that I am attempting to make for some of our more fur-covered friends of Zanzibar. It's specifically thought with the tabaxi palate in mind. It contains a higher fat content with the moisture taken out from cream. And its floral notes are made with grassland flowers, but don't worry, my dear. It is cooked in a very specific way to reduce the effects that they have on your kind." As he kind of like...
Give her an edible.
It is a candy, in fact, made of the edible arrangements, but he's assuring you that it contains the flavor and not the mind-altering effects, as he holds one out with a gloved hand for Hyala to take.
So Nim goes, "What side effects are you talking about, mister?"
As he says, yes, there are grassland plants that when combined in a certain ratio, they have mind-altering effects on tabaxis.
Is that so? She's just gonna pretend she didn't know that.
You are unfamiliar? Perhaps it is that they do not have such plants where you are from. I know your fur coloration is different than any I've ever seen. He's still holding out the piece of candy for you to try.
Oh, she'll grab it and then just say, "Yes, I'm from the mountains on the mainland."
Yes. Well, I hope that you like candies with a more fatty flavor and floral note.
She nods. She'll break it in half and then hand Nim half of it.
And kind of like pull it apart.
Mm-hmm.
Nim will eat it. What does Nim? You just explained it. That's why I stopped talking. Which has a stronger presence, the fat flavor or the flower flavor?
So it's kind of like if you could imagine, like, the taste of caramelized cream. Not caramel itself, but, like, toasted milk notes, but with a nice floral background. I guess if you took a very aromatic tea and mixed it with milk.
I'd eat this again.
That sounds good.
It does, actually.
Yeah, Nihiala, you eat your piece?
Yep.
So where Nim found it appealing, you find it almost addicting. It is truly specifically suited for everything you like, though it does not, like he promised, immediately send you into trying to catch fish in the sky.
Literally edibles.
Yeah.
How does Yala react?
Oh, we all know that. She stands there blank-faced.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's like, yeah, it's fine. Meanwhile, inside is like, brrr.
She's trying to hold back a purr.
Inside is literally like the shooting stars meme. Like, so, Yala's soul is gone. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Perhaps I need to increase the ratio of flavor. I was hoping for a little something more than just okay. Anyone.
She'll shake her head. Do not.
Do not?
Normally people say don't. But...
Shut up, dead citizen.
I am here to haunt you.
I can still hear his voice.
Be rootin', be tootin', but by gum be shootin', but most importantly, be kind.
Well.
Anyway, but he looks at you and goes, but I thought you said it was only okay. Anyone can make a decent candy. I hope to make the best of the best.
She'll clear her throat and continue to try and maintain composure as she explains, I believe this may cause some addiction to a problematic level.
Ah, then I have hit a good mark. Good. Not that I am trying to cause addition, but really, your additional note means that I have indeed hit the flavor profile that I desire. Now I just have to think of how to draw out even more moisture. Oh, that was very helpful of you. As he kind of walks over, and he reaches into an opaque jar, and he pulls out a dark brown, what's the hell of that shape? It's like two pyramids stuck together, that kind of jewel shape. I can't think of it.
You mean an hourglass?
No,
but like they're stuck on the flat sides, right?
Yes, on the flat bases.
Diamond? Like a diamond shape?
Yeah, but like more of like the diamond shape you'd see on a car than a card than you would see on like a car.
I'm not great with geometry, so like
I think we get the idea.
Yeah, got the idea.
Four-sided
like
pyramid
a crystal.
A four-sided pyramid stuck together on the base. Anyway, there's some name with it. I should probably brush up on my geometric shapes. Two things
Triogenes and his geographic shapes.
Yeah, the worst part is when
I
Ed
am
does it, he's
theorizing of a land named Texas.
See, when Ed does it, he means to do it. He means to make this fuck up. When I do it, it's because I'm the dumbest smart person most people will encounter.
That'd be true if I didn't know a Brendan.
Well, he's just a klutz.
Yeah, but he's also a supercomputer at the same time.
Yes, he's a supercomputer klutz. I'm smart, I just can't find the word for shit half the time. I don't trip over myself. Anyway, but yeah, he takes out this, deep brown crystal, about the size of a quarter, and he brings it over to Nim. This is a, highly concentrated candy crystalline cuboid. I am hoping with this to invoke flavors that are not cloyingly sweet, but give a depth of sugary sweetness that helps one relax while enjoying. It is meant to be sucked and not chewed. It is a little hard, so if you do, you might chip a tooth. Please be careful, my dear. This one also has a low moisture content.
Of course it does.
You hear a sickening crunch as Nim chews it. I'm kidding. How are your teeth? Just fine. I can grow as many as I need.
Anyway, but he hands this cube to you to taste. And he also hands another one to Kiala to sample.
Kiala's gonna spit the shit out. So Nim eats it. Given how you know how Nim eats sugar, is this the sweetest thing she's ever had?
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is she gonna die?
No.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you'll manage to survive the near instantaneous sugar rush from the amount of dopamine just tasting this kicks off. Like,
Sounds like Nim could have died.
Yeah,
You-
I'm
no,
starting to
no.
think this guy is actually peddling drugs and not candy.
no, but the amount of sugary sweetness for the sugarholic that Nim is would have sent her into a bit of a hyper state. She manages to maintain composure, but she is now also, too, having shooting stars internally.
So, wait, hold up. Is this the equivalent of Nim almost wild surging?
I would not say that far, no.
Aww.
I was about to say give Nim 30.
Nim has haste casted on her.
I mean, I'd be careful what the arcana you want, because, like, might be possible for you to literally do changeling shit in front of Hyala if you're gonna throw magic into the ring.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be really funny!
Can Hyala bring herself to kill Nim while she's high as a kite?
Also, Nim is her air conditioner.
Yeah.
And her dealer.
To be cold or to kill bastards? These are the questions one must face. But anyway, Hyala, do you also pop it in your mouth?
She will.
It is not cloyingly sweet, but it is in fact very sweet. Different kinds of sweetnesses neatly layered over top of each other. But in terms of pure sugar content, it's like you are eating sugar. Which is technically like what all candy is, but its central note is
some
sugar
hide it
the
better.
sugar the substance, rather sugar carrying a flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, are you still doing that?
Doing what?
Eating sugar?
No, it's only every once in a while that I reach over to the candy bowl and pick up a little bit. I have this for a reason!
Okay.
Sugar stops hiccups, and there's a high probability that some of the voices I do this session are going to upset my diaphragm.
Does it stop hiccups?
Oh,
It actually does. Because of the way sugar acts with the vagus nerve, if you take a I am kind of creeped out the way you laughed at that.
Vegas.
or vagus nerve, however you say, but yeah.
Oh.
Because it
I don't like that one.
You're
because it interacts with the vagus nerve, it can actually help stop your diaphragm from spasming when you have hiccups. To quite an effect.
So
A
Nim goes, "This is
spoonful
really
of
sweet."
sugar can stop the diaphragm and tell it to fuck off.
Aw.
Nim goes, "This is really sweet. But a good kind of sweet."
Is there a bad kind of sweet, my dear? As he
When it makes
tenses
you
fingers.
throw up.
He kind of tenses fingers, and at that comment he's like, any amount of sugar that makes one regurgitate, it is produced by someone who does not appreciate its chemical nature. As he kind of flattens out the tent of his hands. Anyway, moving on. As he continues to walk over, and he takes out a different candy this time, a sphere, and he hands one to each of you. I encourage caution with this. It is a different type of candy. Its notes are supposed to be a combination of vaporous ethanol-like taste, but at the same time a citric that balances it out. In other words, it is quite sour.
That was canon, by the way.
What is it? Just tasting her head just starts caving in on itself?
No, that was her neck turning like an owl in decision.
No.
Yes, but what is
Nim
the moisture
hesitates.
content?
Please tell me you asked that in character.
She
Oh yes,
might.
you see the moisture content.
Do you actually ask this?
Yeah.
I see you are beginning to appreciate the moisture contained within candy. This one is a higher moisture content with a hardened outer shell that has a low moisture content measured in percentage by 0.05%. This allows it to deliver its more vaporous center with enjoyable results once the outer shell has either been bitten or suckled through. Does this answer your question, my sweet?
Yes, very interesting.
Perhaps a future confectioner in our midst. As he hands you the orb of candy.
She'll eat it.
Nim will hesitantly eat it. How sour is this on a scale
Do
of 1 to 10?
you suck it or do you bite it?
Hyal is
Suck.
just sucking on it.
So
Yeah, Nim will suck.
I wish you had said that differently, but we'll move on. Anyway, you suck on it, and it is incredibly sour. Imagine just licking a lemon, if you will. And
Nah. Scale of 1 to 10. I just need a rating real quick for how dramatic Nim goes with this.
on a pH scale,
No, on like a sourness scale, 1 to 10.
10 being higher.
Imagining a 10 is her face just sinks into itself.
I'm going
No,
to
a
assume
10
10
is
is being.
her wild magic surge.
I'm going to assume 10 is higher, so I'd rate this at about an 8.5.
So Nim will let it sit for a moment. Her face slowly starts to contort as the sour kicks in. And then because she doesn't want to be rude and spit it out, she'll like bite it to swallow. What happens when she bites it?
When you bite the outer shell, the center immediately gives off that like hard liquor vapor, which just mixes to the sour to create like a more mild mix because the vapors dial down the sour to about a solid 6. But you've basically dragon breathed yourself now.
Why would you make this so sour?
Oh dear.
But yeah, no, biting it produces like the
Nim's like eyes are watering. She's like,
Could I have some water?
Are you saying all this in character?
yeah.
Of course.
Oh my god.
She's doing it. She's doing a voice.
That's Nim's forever voice now.
No, that hurt my throat.
It is if she keeps eating this candy.
So he looks at you and says, I understand. Biting it may have been too powerful for you, young dear. My candies are usually enjoyed by those with stronger constitutions. As he walks over and he pours a thick liquid, water will simply increase the vaporous effect. Here, this may be unpleasant, potentially, but this is 86% sugar syrup. Very thick, but it should help pull it off of your palate and help restore your constitution.
So this is like almost pure sugar he's handing her.
Yes, it is a very thick
Yes.
syrup.
Chug, chug,
Yeah.
chug.
Chug,
Yeah, Nim's
chug.
about to chug this.
Oh boy,
And she's
chug
like-
jug.
So Nim absolutely chugs this like she would a shot. And she's like, that was really good. Could I have another glass?
Can I get another shot?
Yeah, you pulled this into your mouth with force. It was like drinking taffy, honestly. But
That's fine. Nim would do that if possible.
he kind of looks surprised. He's like, "You enjoy syrup?"
Yes,
I am.
I like sugar.
He kind of takes almost. It's about the size of a glass milk bottle, and he just fills it with the pure thick syrup, pouring it slowly because it won't pour much faster. I am thinking perhaps a sugar beverage. You are giving me many ideas.
Maybe he should carbonate it too.
See, I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't say it. As he
Nim will
turns the spout to break the stem, and he hands you this literal, like, liquid sugar concoction. It's more able to be chewed than it is drank, but you're
Hold
a
on.
monster.
Can I? Yes, Nim is. But prestidigitation says a harmless sensory effect. Can I carbonate this drink? It says such as, meaning I can go further.
Is carbonation listed? Can you add
No.
gas?
It says such as, meaning you can do more. Those are examples.
Hold on, I started playing.
Also,
with the
one
sugar.
of them is flavor up, and if bubbling is flavoring up, that's a thing too.
It's more texture than anything else.
I do say flavor up when I also start to bubble.
Oh God! I don't like the implications.
Anyway, EA.
No,
or
it
nay?
says you can chill, warm, or flavor up to. It's not flavoring up. Dang, Shay, what? You can't read?
flavor up to a cubic foot of food. It's
Yes.
not a drink. You said it's thick. That's you have to chew it. That's a food.
People
Is
also
applesauce
consider
a drink.
people also
Find out next
consider
episode.
beverages to be food. Food really just means.
No, you describe this one as having to be chewed. That makes it a food.
Having to be food that makes it the chewed.
So can I seltzerize this or not?
I'm gonna say no.
Ah. So Nim will go. Most people don't like sugar as much as I do, but you can definitely try it. As she like starts to drink and chew this concoction.
Did Shala have any reaction to watching her literally forcefully pull the last potential to call sugar a liquid into her mouth?
She's just watching, I guess. She's probably still waiting to get to the alcohol-y center of her own candy.
Yeah, while sucking it at this point, it's starting to come through. The vapors are toning down the sour.
Woo, booze.
And you're getting the vaporous effects. Yes, possibilities. In any event, I feel I have taken enough of your time. Thank you, my sweets.
Almost said, yeah, don't call me.
He just called us his sweets, and that's almost threatening.
I think that's just
Yeah.
what he describes people as, considering he's a candy man.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. I would imagine there'd be a response to that.
Nim still eating this drink. Not that loudly. She's a lady.
I am highly considering revoking that word from your vocabulary, considering you are literally drinking sugar out of a bottle,
Yeah,
tipped
yeah.
back into your mouth.
The only people that can deny Nim's nobility are her family, and they have tried for years unsuccessfully. So, fight me.
Alright. Take 1d6 of psychic damage.
No.
Alright, Nim suddenly drops dead. I win.
Oh.
Do you win? Because she still dies a noble.
No, you died a peasant's death.
Of an aneurysm from too much candy.
That
Heart
sounds like a win for
palpitations.
me. Sounds
Anyway,
like a win for me.
stop attempting to commit suicide and do something. The man has told you he feels he's taken enough of your time and he's got nothing else for you to test.
They went there willingly.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't
we're
mean
waiting
he
on
doesn't
the-
feel like a burden. Maybe he's nice.
We're waiting on the fruit leather, though, so it's like...
You're going to stand
Yeah.
there for an entire hour and watch him make it?
Yes.
Well, how long did that take? He gave us like 3 different types of candy. That's at least like 20 minutes.
I don't think we've been here for 60 minutes. And he doesn't have any other candies for you to try.
I guess we're hitting fast forward.
Yeah.
Not gonna go back and check on this. So you're just gonna chill out in the candy store for an hour?
Is there anything else Kiala wants to do?
I don't think so. In theory, we could go check on Samson, but...
We can feed Samson sugar bombs!
in his sleep.
Yeah, see if you can wake Samson up by injecting him with sugar, like an incense stick or a smelling salt. Sugar's just a smelling salt for Samson. He smells it and wants to puke.
I mean, he's already unconscious.
And despite the time that you have spent trying these candies, he has not been making the candy because he's literally been giving you stuff to test. So
Sounds like he sucked at his job.
Nim is terrible to retail workers. She's a Karen in the making.
Nice.
Nim has not assaulted verbally or physically a single person in
Yeah.
the shop.
Nim is not
Yeah.
Nim is not terrible to retail workers. Shay is. Shay's just
No,
Shay's
I
just
am
a
not.
Karen.
Shay worked in retail.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she can't be a Karen. We have spotted Karen managers in the wild.
Do you know how much effort that takes to do and maintain? I can't
Not
even
much.
be mad for more than 5 minutes
Well,
at a
then
time.
stop telling people they suck at their
Hey.
job when you're taking up their time. Anyway, it's gonna take an hour for the candy to be made. What do you want to do?
Oh. Nim's gonna go feed Samson and also clean up his cube.
Alright, I guess we're going back to Senor Sam.
Go see you in an hour, mister.
Goodbye, my sweet.